Hello everybody and welcome back again. This video is gonna be about the ATP World Tour Finals in London, the ATP Finals that we call it, easier the Naito. And the year has coming to an end. Now we have only one tournament left for this 8th best competitor of 2019. Before they go on vacation, they're gonna fight one last time to empty their tank in the gas in the tank, of course it's gonna be. And we have the 8 players in the world based on the year-end ranking. And as usual, they are in 2 groups named after 2 great players. Actually, those are my 2 favorite players out of all time. Number 1 is Andre Agassi, that have Rafael Nadal, Daniil Medvedev, Alexander Zverev, and Stefanos Tsitsipas in that group. And in the Björn Borg group, we have Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, Dominic Thiem, and Matteo Berrettini. So Novak is out here to protect and reclaim his number 1 spot on the ranking and in the year-end racing, of course. And Nadal, who has recently taken over the number 1 spot, is ahead of in that race, and he's always also trying to protect his turf. So it's gonna be a battle, because we all know that they have been talking about Nadal's injury, his abdominal muscle, that he had a problem and withdrawn from the semifinal in Paris against Shapovalov. So, but Nadal is a smart guy, and his team, they are focused. He will play at least a couple of matches. Even if he feels like he can't go on, he will just end the season there and focus on Australian Open. But we all know Nadal is the most fierce competitor of all time, and he will try to do, because he wants to win this title that he's missing. It's the 2nd biggest tire in the world after the Grand Slam events, and an undefeated champion can receive 1,500 points. So this 1,500 points is it's needed for both Novak and Djokovic, because Novak was in the final last year where he lost to the Alexander Zverev, who is the defending champion. So both of them are mentally tough players. They don't want to give anything away to their opponents. They are here to win, like everybody of these 8 candidates. This tournament, I think they are playing maybe 40-50 years now. I have some memories here, especially the 1996 final in Germany. I think it was in Frankfurt, between Pete Sampras and Boris Becker, a 5-set epic battle that Sampras finally won in the end. And back then they used to play on fast indoor carpets, and perhaps that's the best indoor match I've seen in my life. Now they play on indoor hard court, and that surface suits guys like Djokovic and Roger Federer, of course, who is the all-time champion here with 6 titles. Novak is behind with 5, like Sampras and Ivan Lendl also. Roger had lost 4 finals here. He lost against David Nalbandian, I think it was in 2005, if I can remember correctly, or maybe it was 2007. He was 2 sets up but lost anyway. And then he has lost to Novak twice, and he withdrew once also against Novak. And Novak Djokovic has won this title 5 times and lost 2 times. He lost last year against Zverev, and in 2016 against Andy Murray. And none of the other guys that are participating has even won this title. Nadal has lost 2 finals against Federer and Djokovic. So he's out here to collect one of the trophies that he misses. and it's going to be difficult for Nadal because this is fast indoor tournament. He doesn't have so much time as he has when he plays outside, maybe on hard courts or clay. The condition with the wind and clay and everything, it's in Nadal's favor. But here, when you play indoor, it's the opposite. The favor goes to his two biggest competitors, nemesis Federer and Novak. And just look at the results from the past, you will see what I mean. All right, I'm gonna go through the candidates a little bit before I step into the 4 players that I think that's gonna win this tournament. If we start with the number 8 ranked Matteo Berrettini, he was a young Italian guy. He's 23 years old. He has won 3 titles in his career. I think he lost one also. So he has been in 4 finals. He won in Swiss Open. It's a clay court tournament. And then he won in Hungarian Open, and then in Stuttgart this year. And he has been in 3 finals this year. And he also reached the semifinals of US Open this year, where he lost to Rafael Nadal. So Matteo Berrettini, he's an aggressive all-court player with a superb serve and great forehand, and he has a good backhand slice that he uses occasionally, and he's very consistent on the free surfaces like grass, clay, and hard courts. He reached the semifinals in US Open. He won Stuttgart grass court tournament, and he has won the clay court tournament in Hungarian and in Swiss Gstaad, I think it was. So he has done some superb results this year. Has beaten Khachanov twice, Zverev and Thiem. Those are the top 10 ranked players that he has beaten. And he has met Zverev 3 times and won one, and same with Dominic Thiem. But he has never faced Novak, and all the other guys he has just played 1 time against and lost in those meetings. So he on a good day, he can cause an upset. I probably think that he has a good chance of beating Dominic Thiem in his Bjorn Borg group, where he's playing with Novak, Federer, and Dominic Thiem. He has a huge chance because Dominic Thiem, we all know, indoor and fast surfaces are not his best. That doesn't suit his game style as clay. But anyway, all right. And then we go to Dominic Thiem from the Bjorn Borg group. I'm gonna start with the Bjorn Borg group first. No, I will take the ranked player first. Lead the presentation. We go to the number 7 ranked player, who is Stefanos Tsitsipas, 21-year-old Greek, who has been in, I think he has been in 2 or 3 finals this year. He has won in Stockholm last year, and Marseille earlier this year, and Estoril. I think he has reached 5 finals actually this year. So, and he's an aggressive baseliner with powerful ground strokes. He can hit winners from his backhand and forehand. He plays high risk tennis like Roger Federer, and unforced error comes naturally with that kind of game playing style. He's young, interesting. Both Tsitsipas and Berrettini are new guys here in ATP finals, like Medvedev. They are not here to learn. They are not bystanders. They are not on vacation here. They are here to compete and win. They have a decent chance if they can pass the tricky group, but I think not both of them. Not both Berrettini and Tsitsipas. That would be a tough. It's too difficult for them, I think, to be honest. All right, the number 6 rank, I think, either it's Tsitsipas or Zverev. I maybe mix those players up, but anyway, Zverev. What can we say about Zverev? 22 years old. He reached the quarterfinals of French Open this year. like he did last year. He has won 3 master titles, has beaten Djokovic, Federer, and Thiem in those finals, and he's hyped player since early teenage. He has only beat one top 10 player this year, and that was Roger Federer in Shanghai. And he's an aggressive baseliner who stands far back, where he can punish his opponent with his backhand, who he hit the lines deep like Novak. It's his best weapon, his backhand. He has a solid forehand also. His suit is good when it's working, but when it clicks, he makes way too much unforced errors. And I think his mental toughness is not that good. He can disappear from matches when you at least expect it. But he's here. He has beaten Berrettini. He's up against both Tsitsipas and Medvedev also. And Roger Federer, of course, he has 4-3 in head-to-head, but trails to Nadal, Thiem, and Djokovic. All right. Now we go to the number 5 player on this spot, and that's Dominic Thiem, the Australian guy who has won 3 titles this year, I think, or maybe it's 4. He won in Vienna, I know. He won against Roger, where he won in Indian Wells. We claimed his first Masters title. He has 16 titles overall, and he has beaten Roger on grass, clay, and hard court in his career. I think he beat Roger earlier, a couple of years ago in Stuttgart, in the grass court tournament there. He beat him on hard court in Indian Wells final, and later on in the ATP Masters in Madrid in the quarterfinal, where he beat Roger Federer. So he's here. He has not done good results here because he has heavy ground strokes, but he's powerful forehand and backhand needs long swings, and he doesn't have that time on fast hard courts. That's why he barely wins indoor tournaments. He won recently in Vienna, but that's other kind of competition that he used to. Now this is the finals. We have the big 3 here, the top 8 players in the world, inclusive him. He included, of course, in that. So he's heavy ground stroke. He can hit winners from backhand, forehand, especially his backhand, who is powerful, almost like Wawrinka's when he works. So his backhand can also handle high bounce. You just see his matches against Nadal, and he has a good, solid first serve and a superb second serve. His kick serve cause a lot of damage, especially on clay. So he get advantage from that. Here he get rewarded from his second serve a lot, more than most of the players on the tour. So Dominic Thiem, he's here. He still has a chance like everybody else, but I'm counting him as the number 4 in his group, to be honest, because I think Berrettini will win against him. So now I've talked about Berrettini, Tsitsipas, Zverev, and Thiem, and then we have the top 4 ranked players, and that's on the number 3 spot. We have Daniil Medvedev. He's 23 years old. He has reached 9 finals this year, 6 consecutive, the hottest player since the American swing started. He has beaten Djoko twice, Tsitsipas twice, Kei, Thiem, Zverev, Khachanov this year. And he's a ball machine. He's quick. His backhand is solid. He finds the lines. He finds the deep corners. He barely misses. He barely does unforced errors. He doesn't know how to miss. He has taken huge steps. This year. He reached his well-deserved final in US Open. Berrettini, who reached the semifinals in US Open also. Zverev reached the quarterfinals in the French Open. Tsitsipas reached the semifinals in Australian Open. So these guys, beside the big three, has really earned a spot here in the finals because they have played good tennis this year. Even if they hasn't won many Masters or Grand Slams, they have done good results and they deserve to be here. Especially a guy like Medvedev, who has won 7 titles in his career and lost 6. I've talked about that in my previous videos that he's the most consistent player this second half of the season if you look at his results, and he has actually a good chance in his group where Rafa plays. But Odd Agassi group is a tight group. It's very tricky. I'm gonna go into that very soon. And of course, number 3 on the ranking is Roger Federer, who has set the platinum standard of tennis excellence for quite a while now. His movement, his skills, his ultra aggressive first strike tennis have given him some superb results through his career. I don't need to go into a presentation of that. You already know what Roger has achieved, and this is a tournament that he likes. He has reached 10 finals, and like he played in Basel with low unforced error numbers, good serve, first strike, offensive, you know it. Roger has a decent chance to win. He is in the same group as Novak, Matteo Berrettini and Dominic Thiem, and he can probably win the group. It's good chance for him actually. He and Novak has lost to these next gen players in Grand Slam, if we count Dominic Thiem as a next gen player. He probably is an ex next gen player, but Roger lost to Tsitsipas in Australian Open. Novak lost to Thiem, and he has lost to Medvedev this year also twice. So we know Novak, he has been superb this year, like Federer, but with more heavy titles, of course. Because Roger, he's 38, he's still competing. He's there. He's one of the 3-4 best players in the world. Just look at his ranking. Just look at what he achieved this year. He won in Miami. He won in Dubai. He won in Halle. He won in Basel. He has won 4 titles. As many as Nadal, but Nadal holds 2 Grand Slams and 1 Masters, 2 Masters actually, in Rome and Toronto. So Roger is not going anyway soon, I think. As long as he can compete, he likes to play tennis, you know, he will continue. And the number 2 ranked is Nadal, the most fierce player, probably the best competitor, the man with the highest, how do you say, lowest high level, who barely gives away a point. He has some next gen players in his group. He likes to eat them for breakfast. He will not give anything free to these guys, because even though it's indoor, it's not his best surface. He's a good player. He has reached 2 finals here. Even though he hasn't participated in every year, he is the guy to beat in that group, fair and square. He has only lost once to his opponents in that group, and I think that's who was it? Tsitsipas. He lost to him earlier this year, I think, in Madrid. So the other next gen, he beat Medvedev in the Master and the Grand Slam final earlier this year. And Zverev, he eats Zverev for breakfast. Like I said before, Nadal doesn't give away a thing for free. You really have to earn, because he never beats himself. And these guys, next gen players, if you look at it through the history, Nadal is the most consistent player in that area, because we have seen Novak lost in Grand Slam against next gen players. He lost against Shang 2000 and I think it was 2018 or 2018. He was a next gen player. He lost. Federer lost to Tsitsipas. So Novak and Djokovic has started. Novak and Federer have lost to next gen players, but not Nadal. Who has he lost to? Roger Federer in Wimbledon and Novak in Melbourne, Australian Open. So that's clearly a sign that he's still so consistent, still so hard to beat. You have to do a superb performance. And when he meets guys like Novak and Federer, who doesn't give him time, Novak, who plays deep, he can do everything on court. Roger, ultra aggressive playing style. Novak, when he hit the ball, it lands close to Nadal's feet. He doesn't get much chance to execute his winners from his forehand, and his playing rhythm gets disturbed by a player like Novak and a player like Roger Federer. So Nadal is here to compete as usual. All right. Now we have the presentation. We have two groups. I'm going to go quickly through the four candidates that I think will reach the semifinals in group. Andre Agassi is difficult. Nadal is my main favorite to reach the semifinals there. And I'm going to be bold and stick out my nose and say Alexander Zverev in the second semifinal. I think Nadal will win the group and Zverev will be take another spot, because he has played good against Medvedev before. I think he's up 4-1, and he has beaten Tsitsipas also 4-1, I think. So he has the upper hand against them, but it's a different kind of Medvedev we have seen this year than before. So I think that Nadal and Medvedev will go through to this. Nadal and Zverev will go through to the semifinals. And in the Bjorn Borg group, it's Novak and Federer. Why? Because these two are like a fish in the water when they play indoor hardcore tournaments. Both of them has totally won 11 titles here, and they have been in total in 17 final combined. That's why my vote goes to this player. And if Roger plays like he did in Basel, it shouldn't have been a problem for him to reach, because Thiem, he won against him last year. Berrettini has beaten him also. So Berrettini has a heavy serve, but Roger, we all know what Roger did to him in Wimbledon this year, and he's the main favorite, of course. And Novak, the way he played in Paris, just showed why he's the best player this year, in my opinion. He started slow in the tournament, but after his beat against Tsitsipas, I knew he was gonna win the tournament, and he's the heavy, overwhelming favorite here in London. Alright, the semifinals, I think it depends on how it goes between Roger and Novak. Roger had more chance to win against Novak in the group stages than in the final, of course, where he had never beaten him in 3 attempts. One was with he beat him in the round robin stages earlier, I think it was 2015. And in the semifinals, first semifinal, I think it will go down between Roger and Rafa. That's what I think, because I think Novak will win his group. And on other surfaces except clay, Roger has Rafa's number. He hasn't beaten Roger since 2015 outside clay, I think. So Roger's ultra aggressive performance that he showed in Basel, if he can take that into this match against Nadal, that I think is gonna play, he will win this match. Nadal will fall short in that section, in that area. but it can go either way. Rafa is always Rafa, and we know Federer. If he has a bad day, he does like 20 unforced errors that he can do, he's finished. He doesn't ever stand a chance against a guy like Rafael Nadal. We have seen it before through the history. That's my first semi-final prediction, and the second one is between Zverev and Djokovic, same as the final last year. This time Novak doesn't lose. He's just too good. He's just too consistent. He's just too powerful. He's just too solid from the baseline. He hit the ball deep. He moves around his opponent like chess toys, you know, when you move around you across the brick. That's Novak. He will do that to Zverev. But Zverev, if he doesn't do many unforced errors, keeps his serve, Novak will have problem. And the final prediction, it's between Federer and Novak Djokovic. Like I said, these guys are like the fish in the water when they play hardcore tournaments. That's where they have gained their most success. And both of these players has, on a good day, it will be a terrific match. If you talk about the mental edge, Novak has it. If you talk about the shot selection, Federer has it. If you talk about the deep in the ground strokes, Novak have it. Serve, even though Novak's serve is underrated, Federer have it. And it's gonna be small details that are gonna choose the winner in this match. Just look at ATP semifinals in Paris last year, probably the best match of the last year. Were very tight. It could be a scenario like that. And in a scenario like that, I think Novak will win. If the finals match go to tiebreaks, I think Novak will have the upper hand there also. Rogers' chances to break Novak early in the match and keep his unforced errors number low. And of course, his huge forehand has to work also. And he doesn't have to get nervous that he can sometimes do when he plays against Novak, because he hasn't beat Novak since 2012 outside the Grand Slam. And actually, I think the last time he beat Novak was here in ATP Finals in London 2015. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, this is an open match, open tournament. All of the well-deserved spots players are going to compete and do their best. End the season, focus on next season, recharge their batteries, and probably make another superb season like this year. And that's all I had to say in this video. Take good care of you. Bye bye. Ciao.